Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program. This is Sunday Politics live on Channel Television. I'm Sean Kimbalo in Abuja. Let's begin tonight's program by, first and foremost, let's let you know what the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, is being up to. He has departed Abuja today for Switzerland to attend the World Economic Forum in Davos. The Vice President was seen boarding the presidential plane earlier today. From the tarmac, of course, you can see him leaving as he was being accompanied to the aircraft. At the 2024 forum, the VP will join other political and business leaders across the world at the annual forum to discuss global socio-economic and development issues. Well, tonight, everyone, let's get our first conversation started. In a surprising turn of events, political commentator and spokesperson of the Atiku PDP Presidential Campaign Organization and a strong ally of the PDP presidential candidate and the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, Mr. Daniel Bwala, made headlines as he paid a visit to President Bola Tinubu of the APC. Bwala is known for his staunch criticisms of Tinubu during past election and campaigns and his affiliation with Atiku Abubakar and the PDP. Bwala's switch in an allegiance has stirred a wild wind of reactions. The political landscape is buzzing with speculation about the reasons behind this sudden change, leaving many to question the authenticity of his newfound support for President Tinubu. Let's hear well, some of those things that Mr. Bwala said after he met the president.
I honor the invitation of His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, who is a father to the nation, who God has given the opportunity to lead the country at this difficult time. And so I came to celebrate and congratulate him, and then to also give him our commitment that as citizens of the country, this is a time for all of us to throw our weight behind and support the administration. I gave an illustration of an aircraft that has taken off. The aircraft is the country. The passengers are the citizens. The pilot is Mr. President. His co-pilot is Excellency the Vice President. The cabin officials might be the ministers or other agents of the Federation. You may not like the takeoff of the airplane. You may have even your perspective about the way the pilot is, walking towards the turbulence, above the sea level. But one fact that must bind all of us is that the plane needs to land so all of us can be alive. When it lands, you can also say you don't like the way it lands. But at the 39,000 feet above sea level, the prayer of everybody, including the pilot and the passenger, will be the safe landing of the car.
Well, the air is thick with curiosity and anticipation as political observers try to decipher the motives behind Bwala's surprising move. Social media is ablaze with reactions, with supporters and critics alike expressing their opinions on the political commentators' change of heart. As the nation watches, the question on everyone's mind is whether this move is driven by personal conviction, strategic political maneuvering, or if there is more to the story that meets the eye. Tonight, I'm being joined by, well, should we call him a former Atiku Presidential Campaign Organization spokesperson, a lawyer, Mr. Daniel Bwala. He joins us live here with me in Abuja. So thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
First and foremost, let's good evening. Let's clear the air and get some clarity. Are you a member of the PDP or the APC?
I'm a member of APC.
Seriously now. What party do you belong?
I have seen this question and agitation from different quarters, and a lot of people make so much of noise about it. When I met with Mr. President, for all the time that we've had talking, there was no mention of leave PDP, there was no mention of coming to APC. Mr. President's passion is about Nigeria, and all that he talked to me is about his plans for Nigeria and how that he's calling on all Nigerians to come together and let us steer this country and solve the problem. And it is on that premise I visited him, and it is on that premise I left the place.
So you do not know whether or not you are in APC or PDP. You have not made up on.
No, I am a member of PDP, but I said I am supporting the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and somebody said that means you have joined APC. Then I now added, if supporting the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu means going to APC, then so be it.
So you probably, I mean, because there are, between PDP and APC, there is another political party in between. There are those who, of the school of thought that that is the political party that the likes of the FCT minister belongs to, Nyesom Wike, who says he's a member of the PDP, but he's working with President Bola Tinubu. So you have joined that party led by Nyesom Wike.
No, there is no party as such, but look at it this way. Elections are over. Decisions, the adjudication also on the election are over. What as a country we're confronted by now is governance. The president on his first speech early this year, on the first day of the year, called on everybody, including members of the opposition, to come together. And that's why I came with this book, Lincoln on Leadership, Executive Strategies for Tough Times. This is what I think that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to do. The leadership of Abraham Lincoln, who at the time led the United States through the Civil War. Now, these are the problems he was confronted at the time. You have the insurgents, what they call the Federalists, or they call them the Confederalists. You have the issue of slavery. You have the issue of challenge against the Union. Then you have the issue of the economy, and you have the issue of expansion of the federal government. These were the problem Abraham Lincoln was confronted by. To be able to steer that, he needed to generate and steer national consensus. That means you are rising above the waters and above the level of partisanship. You are looking at government from the perspective that both public and private sector, inclusive of members of other political parties, to come together so we can join our hands and lead the country. The question I think people should rather ask is, does it mean when you say you are going to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu means you are not going to critique policies that you do not disagree with? I think that's what they should ask. He is, again, the president of the Federal Republic. He's the president of the opposition. He's the president of the media. And when I visited that, it generated the question, you know what I asked myself? Governors on the platform of People's Democratic Party sometimes but went to the presidency, met President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, through their support to him and said they were going to support him. Nobody said they left the PDP. Nobody said that they don't have ideology.
Yours may be different because...
Why is it?
I mean, during the past election campaigns,
right,
you made very strong, unprintable remarks about President Tinubu.
Please recall it.
Let me remind you of some of the things that you said about him. Let's remind Mr. Bwala some of the things that he said.
Excellent.
If you meet Tinubu, he will call Lagos for you. The dynamics in the north, in the west, and the rest of the places are not the same.
You don't think a track record matter in these ways?
I believe track record is much more fundamental, and both of them have not been able to establish a track record. For example, the Lagos of Tinubu, as early as at last year, mid-last year, it was adjudged as the second worst city to live and work in. The Lagos of Tinubu is the Lagos where up till this moment people deliver and give birth in the slums. The Lagos of Tinubu is the Lagos that right now you have not been able to overcome what we call the traffic problem. But beyond that, the character of the candidate that govern Lagos is a dynastic type. So when he comes to national government, while he's trying to grapple with the realities of what the national government is, he's going to bring in, because he has always said, I will do here what I did in Lagos. What did he do in Lagos? In Lagos, the State House of Assembly they were like boy, what they say. His daughter is the Iyaloja of Lagos. So that means the entire market people of Nigeria will be under the control of his daughter.
This was a man that you criticized heavily. And there are heavier points that we have that we could show Nigerians of what you said. This is because the conversation is what we need to have.
Because if
I will show more.
Right.
No, there are more of what you have said, which is out there in the public domain.
Yeah.
You had even said about joining the APC and what it means to the mental capability of the politician. Now, So what has changed between then and now? You've criticized this man that he's not fit to be president.
No, I didn't say he's not fit to be president. I said in comparison to the candidate I was advocating for, that Atiku Abubakar had superior idea over him. The simple answer is this.
Do you still hold that view?
No, listen to me. The simple answer is this, which President Bola Tinubu knows. During electioneering process, it is like a trade fair. You go as a salesman to market your candidate to the Nigerian people. And you market yourself, this one is better than this one can serve a better purpose than this. During the salesmanship or during the trade fair, as often as people will call it. Now, what has changed is your question. What has changed is that then was politicking, political campaign process. Now it is governance. The reality now is that what I argued to persuade the Nigerian people to vote my candidate over him, whether it worked or it didn't work, President Bola Tinubu is the president. It will amount to insanity to go back to the history and begin to talk about what you cannot change, which is the fact that he is the president and the mandate is for 4 years.
So those decisions
that
you made, Mr. Bwala, were not based on ideological or integrity issues.
If I land, you will understand what I'm saying. So what you do as a salesman is to demarcate the suitability of the other product and market the suitability of your product. It's a fair play. It's a principle of fair play. It is like in the football. You play for Chelsea, you play for Arsenal. You do your best to support your club. When the match is ended, people shake their hands, people move, and they move to the other lives. Can you imagine after Chelsea and Manchester United finish playing ball and the match is ended and they go to the street and they continue playing there? Does it make sense? That's the rules of politics. And so as a spokesman, that was my duty. And I did that. I dispensed or I exhibited what I believe to be the quality to the best of my knowledge. But let me tell you what will surprise you and many Nigerians who are watching tonight. When I walked in to meet Mr. President, the first thing he said was, Daniel Bwala, it's nice to see you. I have been following your interviews and even your tweets about your opinion on issues of government. And I must say, I'm quoting, I must say, you are one of the most intelligent young men, very articulate and respectful in the conduct of your duty. Please sit down. Well, then, game over. So for anybody who wants to be a critic, that's why I talked about Lincoln on leadership. When you are genuinely a leader, you will understand the difference.
So this is about President Tinubu, not really about what you have done. Because
what I've done,
in the sense that if he doesn't have a good character to have drawn you to himself, you know, it wasn't about what you have done to him, because some leaders will never have called you to
right. So that's what makes him exceptional.
So that is what played out.
It's a quality. And let me tell you the second one. He now told me, when you left, if I tell you I was not happy or I was happy, I would lie to you. I didn't fancy your leaving. Then he went ahead to address why I left and why he thought I should not have left, because he does not represent the character of somebody that will use religion to disenfranchise people. He gave me facts and figures, and they cannot be controversial.
So that was the reason you left the APC, because of religion?
When I left because of the same faith ticket. The opinion has been expressed everywhere. Mm-hmm. The election is over. We are now in governance. As a Christian, the Bible says no one wield power unless it is given to him by God. Secondly, the Bible says people in authority, you should pray for them and you obey them. So for those who want to say because you criticize that proposition and therefore now you're supporting the administration, therefore it amounts to hypocrisy. I even laugh at people absurdity.
You don't think it is hypocrisy?
It's not hypocrisy.
Because what you fought and you left, you said on ideological basis, on the basis of your faith, that you do not support.
I couldn't advocate for that,
You did not support the Tinubu Chetima ticket because it's a Muslim ticket.
Correct.
It's against your faith. And you left.
I didn't say against my faith.
But now you do not agree with it.
No.
You do not agree with it.
Let's get the word straight. I didn't say against my faith. I say against my conviction. The point is, now he is the president. Who gave him the power to be president? Is it not God?
But is it now in your conviction? It was
the Bible says pray for your leaders. Pray for your leaders in authority and obey them.
So ideologically, you don't think that switching from what you do not believe or convinced about and now arguing that same thing that you were not convinced about is hypocrisy?
Now, it's not hypocrisy. Let me tell you one fact that some people who are trying to eulogize and overblow a perception. In this life, you had a relationship before you got married, probably, and you thought you were going to marry the girl. It didn't work out. You ended up getting married. A pastor in a church thought that this is everything. He later left the church and started his own. So a member of a church is attending this church. He changed to another church. A media mogul may be working in this television house. Tomorrow he changed to another media. A businessman will be doing this line of business. Tomorrow he changed. A footballer is in this club. Tomorrow he changes. These things are the normal course of events in life. Facts change opinion. You make decisions based on available fact. Do you get the point? The fact that he was not a president, but a candidate running to be a president at a time when my principal work was to sell my candidate more over and above him, I dispatched or I exhibited, like, I often get the wrong word, the best way to use that. I discharged my duty to the best of my knowledge. But facts have changed, and this is where we should elevate the argument in Nigeria to a point where our people will stop thinking this primordial thinking. Can you imagine in religion a pastor can leave the church and start a church? They don't say he doesn't have ideology. They don't say he doesn't have conviction. They don't say beliefs. But in politics, which principally is a game that is based on national interest, group interest, peers' interest, and the general course of purposeful event. Now, the Constitution of Nigeria, which I believe is above what you think, above what I think, guarantees the right of association. The Constitution does not limit the frequency of the guarantee. Some of the people we advocate for have changed political parties. And then you are now condemning me. I have not even said I have left PDP.
Mr. Bwala, this is an ideological issue. This is a moral issue.
What is it about morality?
Your decision to say that, oh, President Tinubu, whatever he's doing now, you are willing and you are now convinced you've seen otherwise based on whatever you have told Nigerians. Right. You know how influential your voice was during the election.
Yes,
so simply what you are telling every Nigerian who believed you at the time, who you have sold Atiku Abubakar to, say, please forget whatever I sold to you that time. Just believe what I said now. No, how do you think they see you?
How I want them to see is that Atiku Abubakar right now is not a president. There is no campaign going on at the moment. And so it will be futile to be advocating for what does not exist. Whether they like it or whether I like it or whether anybody else likes it or not, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president of the republic.
And you slide Atiku Abubakar, you betrayed him, and you jump ship.
It is absolute nonsense for somebody to say, because I say I will support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, therefore it betrays Atiku.
Because you supported Atiku Abubakar, you sold Atiku Abubakar. Yes. Isn't that a betrayal in your own books?
I sold Atiku Abubakar during the election.
You supported him.
I supported him during the election. It never worked. Even Atiku Abubakar is called upon to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is the way democracy works. Once the politics
of lack of ideology, the politics of lack of integrity,
what is the ideology?
Politics of lack of consistency.
What is the ideology?
As a political person, do you think that you have followers who listen and believe what you say?
All you need to do is to, as we are talking, go through the comment section and then go through the social media, listen to the mass. You see, let me tell you something about Nigeria. There are echo chambers of political affiliation and entanglement, but the greater number of Nigerians are not partisan. They don't belong to a political party. A man who is in Kara Namoda now, who is struggling to find food to eat, doesn't care whether you're in APC or PDP. The man that is in Alimosho right now, who is looking for food to feed his children or transport to go, does not care whether the flag of your party is red or black.
The question I'm asking you, Mr. Bwala, is given your history of vocal criticism of President Tinubu, how do you expect the public to trust your current endorsement? That is a moral burden that you have on you, and that's the question I'm asking.
No matter what you do from now till the end of eternity, somebody's perception, somebody's thought and opinion is his property. People who have a rational mind will rationalize what you're saying. Those whose minds are cloaked, there is nothing you will do to convince them.
What the people in PDP are saying, they say you didn't even wait for 1 year You were easily now turned, and you've jumped ship in your support.
Let me
now ask you this. One of the things that are suggesting that your change of stance might be influenced by personal gains.
Give me an example of the
or promises. Gains. I'm asking, you know better.
No, you said they have to have a.
They are suggesting that the reason why is anywhere Beleface politics.
Now, good.
Whatever suits your pocket and whatever suits the gains and the promises that you have been made. Have you been made a promise?
I'm coming. So, fantastic. I long for this opportunity to be able to answer. Do I look like a poor man? I have supported Buhari for 8 years. I have never been a public official. Do I look like a poor man? I have a vibrant law practice with a staff strength that contributes to the country when you employ labor. I pay my staff salary that is commensurable to what some senior advocate pay. Do I look like a poor man? I travel from UK to Nigeria on an average of twice in a month. Do I look like a poor man? How much is the flight ticket? Do I look like a poor man? I have supported causes. Do I look like a poor man? You see, when people are bereft of ideas, and there are some people who are innocent in their thinking. That's sometimes when we talk, our focus is on those whose minds are rational. You try to persuade them. For those whose minds are made up, there is nothing you can do about it. And when somebody say Beleface, then when I was with Atiku, what is the Belefidin? You see, I don't know the way people, and then
because when you were leaving the APC, it was said that the only reason why you went to Atiku to support Atiku is that you got a promise.
Yes.
And now the reason is that afterwards, there isn't anything to hold on to, right. And that's why they promise you something again on the other side, and you are easily swayed by it.
So you see, people are even unfair to President Bola Tinubu, to be honest. What did he promise? He has never promised. He has never promised.
So are you saying that if he gives you any role to play, you will not take it?
No, I said he has never promised anything.
On your
own, I told him.
On your honor,
I'm coming.
You say that your support is based on not based on any material benefit.
Right.
You're saying that if he offers you a position or a role in government, you will not take it.
If let me tell you this. If the president makes an offer of a position that I see that will contribute to the development of his agenda, because I say I will support his agenda, I will more than anything else appreciate it. But it is not the appointment that I am looking for to support him. That's why I'm telling you, 8 years I supported Buhari, I was not a public official. You see, you have to separate between those who do not have value and are cringing and crying for appointment, and those who believe the value and what they will contribute has nothing to do with whether you're appointed or you're not appointed. But I can understand when people rate you and then they see what you can bring to the table, sometimes people do what we call preemptive action. They can preempt it. And I say so many things in the media. He promised this. He said, I want to say to everybody listening, President Bola Tinubu has not promised me anything. I went to tell him, I'm supporting your... And let me tell you, Mr. Sheun, and to every Nigerian here, except if you want to be hypocritical, life is in phases. Men are in sizes. When somebody who didn't have any reason to listen to you at all, because you were critical of his administration, chooses to sit down with you and give you unusual minutes, he didn't need to, and explain one by one policy decision he has taken, some of which you have criticized, and ask you to join the cause of advancing the progress of his government. If you don't have personal grudge, I don't think there's nothing wrong in supporting his government. But let me even ask you, for the people who are saying, you let PDP, I want to tell you and beat my chest from the depth of my heart, from the honesty of my heart. Those people that are saying this, what have they said to the governors that went and told President Bola Tinubu we will support you? Have they said anything in the media? What have they said on the appointment? A leader of PDP is a minister in this government. What have they said? Few days ago, the G5 said 2027 they will support President Bola Tinubu. What have they said? Have you seen any press statement?
That's the question. I'm asking you this moral question because there are those who believe that our politics should be played based on ideology.
And I ask you what is ideology?
Thought and ideas.
So what is the idea?
But when politicians keep changing, do you understand the ideals of the APC? Because from what the two parties have told us, they are two different. One says that is the left of the center. One says it's the right of the center.
When you ask
them, do you believe that they have different ideologies?
Let me tell you, every political party in Nigeria today What they call ideology centers around Chapter 2, derivative principles of state policy, provision of welfare, social services, security, and the rest. There is no marked difference in terms of saying you want to compare it with the US, where when you say a Republican, they know they kick against taxation. They believe in the sovereignty of America. They hate the idea of government giving out interventions. When you say Democrats, they believe in certain ideology. Tell me what APC or PDP is doing that the other one say we won't do.
So you think they are the same thing?
I am saying that the ideology of every political party in Nigeria, since the evolution, maybe at the beginning of the republic, people were ideologically driven. But since when I knew from 1999 till today, it centers around Chapter 2.
So it's easy for politicians to move here and there
Chapter
because
2.
Ideologically they are diffused.
Let me even come straight and hard. Even ideology, you have a right to change ideology. That's why in America, families that are Republican from their third generation, they choose to be Democrats. Facts change opinion.
So you're telling Nigerians that whatever they are hearing from you tonight, they should not believe in it 100%. You could change tomorrow.
What do you? I don't understand what I'm saying.
Because you say ideologies change.
First, ideologies change.
And because
people change their ideology.
They now see Mr. Bwala, in less than 2 years, you have moved back and forth in terms of your beliefs and your standing.
Oh God!
Let me ask you this quick question.
Language? Okay.
Your friend Segun Showunmi has asked you to secure a space for him in APC in joining the party. Is that correct?
I saw the video, and I do not think that Segun Showunmi was actually saying that because he meant it. That's why I believe in context. For those who choose not to believe in context when they listen to something, Segun Showunmi in that Twitter space or so was reacting to the fact that he has served in this party, he has been set faithful in the party for a long time, and people didn't want to appreciate it. Then he now said, "Bwala, keep it safe, so I'm coming." So I believe that it is a reactionary comment. It does not go to suggest that it is something that is thought out or that he said. Yet I cannot doubt that possibility, so it's up to him. But I choose as a rational human being not to judge people on the basis of statement. I put a context to it.
Is PDP imploding?
Imploding like what?
I mean, if you are saying that you're supporting President Tinubu and top people are grumbling in the party, Segun Showunmi either seriously or unseriously say, keep a space for me in the APC that you are joining. I mean, it gives an inference or an implication that the PDP may be in trouble.
Oh, it's today you're knowing that the PDP is in trouble.
So the PDP is in trouble.
I have been like John the Baptist for the past, if not 6 to 9 months, alone, calling out leadership of the party and leaders of the party to do what is right. The video is there, the comment is there, and everything is there. In fact, I even caution that for any political party to have the chance of unseating President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it will take a coalition. So the position that PDP is having a problem is not in doubt. It's not in doubt at all.
So if your argument tonight is that, we were during the election and I was selling the candidate that I believed in, those who will say, no, you're wrong. Even a few days ago, you see, criticize Bola Tinubu. Take a listen. Let me remind you of what you said, because the question of what has changed is fundamental here. Take a listen to Mr. Bwala right here on this channel few days ago.
Right.
Nigerians were thrown into deeper stress, deeper problems. And let me even tell you, last week, there was an annual program in Yaba where the psychiatric hospital in Yaba reported over 100% intake of people with mental problems. This is due to hardship. You have seen in the last 7 months how people are jumping to the lagoons, how people are shooting and killing themselves because of the hopelessness of the situation that Nigerians have gone into.
What you are wearing is different. So, but is that the same Daniel Bwala I'm talking
to? Yes, Daniel Bwala.
So what has changed?
Good. If you can be willing to hear my answer. I quoted a fact and a report in Yaba. That fact has not changed. What is the context to the fact? President Tinubu was not the one that introduced hardship to Nigeria. In fact, Nigeria was terribly, buffeted by hardship. That's why in the election, everybody went to campaign for his candidate. What I will tell you today, and you have a lot of tape you can, put out, is that I was consistently criticizing the economic policy of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The removal of fuel subsidy was one of it, for which I over and over kicked against it. But let me tell you, When I sat across with the president, this is what the president told me. When I took over power, there was nothing on ground in terms of finance that you can begin to execute in the work. And because there was nothing, you cannot go and borrow everything in life to solve the problem of Nigerian people. I was confronted by two choices. Number one, to remove, that is when I won the election, to remove the fuel subsidy, in which case it will be hard on the people anyway, but that at least we'll be able to save some money to begin to see what we can do about it, or to just let the thing fly, and then we are stoned because we're unable to handle that situation. He now looked at me in the face and said, in life as a leader, you will be confronted with tough decisions. At that point, your character will be judged by your courage.
Because we need
and
to wrap up.
that to me, let me conclude.
Yeah.
That to me is impressive. And that to me has given me the context as to the reason why.
So you change your mind from that, you have a different view from the explanation of the president.
In terms of the removal of subsidy?
All right,
yes.
We need to quickly. So
yes, I have a different
you did not mention what exactly is the problem in the PDP, but I'd like to know whether or not you informed Atiku Abubakar of this, your move.
Yes, I did. You know, I was so shocked when I saw people flying information all over the places that I spring surprises on Atiku. I informed Atiku Abubakar I was going to see the president. After I had seen the president, I informed him that I had just seen the president. And he replied me and said, thanks, Daniel, for notifying me. So the world should know.
All right. Let's, to wrap up this conversation with you,
right?
What exactly is the problem of the PDP?
They know it.
Who?
The PDP. What is I am not a member of the National Working Committee who will be seized with facts and intelligence. I'm not a member of the Board of Trustees. I've never run for any position. There is no any avenue for me to have access to information as to the root cause of the problem. But the fact that there is a problem in terms of not coming together as a party, in terms of not having a common front, in terms of the kind of disjointed way they are going about it, I have it. I wish that.
So it's a problem of unity of purpose.
I say they know it. I'm no longer interested in pontificating the problem of PDP anymore. My position on the matter is not by all. Yes, I've given up.
Daniel Bwala, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll take a break, everyone. But when we return, another favorite on this program will be joining me, Alhaji Buba Galadima. Now that the only state that is held by the NNPP has been determined by the Supreme Court on a finality note, we're speaking to him. What is the position of Robbie Kwankwaso? What is the position of the NNPP and its leadership in all of this? Because it was one of the major issues that was considered in the courtroom. We'll be joined by Alhaji Buba Galadima after this break, everyone. Come us again. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. The Supreme Court verdict regarding the Kano governorship election and applications are profound. In a landmark judgment, the court has rendered a decision that could reshape the political landscape in Kano State as a northern commercial nerve center. This verdict carries particular significance for the New Nigeria People's Party, the NNPP. The New Nigeria People's Party, which currently holds the reins in the state. The fate of the party hangs in the balance, as this ruling not only impacts the governorship, the leadership, but also poses critical questions about the future trajectory of the NNPP. My next guest tonight will be joining me to shed light on the recent developments surrounding the Kano governorship election case, the leadership dynamics of the NNPP, and the prominent role of political figure Robbie Kwankwaso. Please welcome Buba Galadima, a seasoned chieftain of the NNPP. Thank you so much, Alhaji Galadima, for joining us.
Thank you, Shaun, for
and congratulations on your party's victory at the Supreme Court.
Well, thank you.
It was a dicey one, isn't it? Because, I mean, having lost at the tribunal, having lost at the appeal court, I mean, if you had lost at the Supreme Court, that would have meant that NNPP, the only state that you are holding sway, would have slipped out of your hands.
Well, Shaun, thank you very much for having me on this program. And I want to assure you that I'm one person that never gave hope, never gave in that we would lose Kano.
You didn't have any fear at all?
No, I never had any fear, except I had an anxiety, but not fear.
What was the anxiety? What was it about?
Well, the anxiety is that I know how those in authority were put in a tight corner by their subordinates, who always drum that we must take Kano by force. They didn't understand democracy.
So there was a plan to take Kano at the
By
Supreme
force, yes, yes. Not at every level. Let me first congratulate the Supreme Court for restoring the honor, dignity of the judiciary. The congratulation is not for ANPP or ABBA. It is for the Supreme Court. If they had ruled otherwise, they could have been stoned on the streets of Nigeria. And nobody could have been able to ride a car with the inscription of Supreme Court of Nigeria.
Why do you say so?
There would have been a total loss of confidence on the judiciary. And I don't think anybody would ever dream of going to the court to seek for redress.
Why do you say so?
Because the court of public opinion all over the world, if I show you my telephone, suggests that Abba's victory, there was in the whole of 2023 election, the only place where election took place was Kano. And there was nothing the APC didn't do to win Kano. And I will swear by the Quran, as I sit before you, that a former senator, now APC chieftain in Kano, told me that the votes they got is less than 200,000. I swear by the Quran.
But what happened?
And I know an INEC man who told me that APC never went into election in Kano to contest, but to conquer. And that they have promised every electoral officer at the polling unit that if you spoil the votes of the box, you will have 1 million naira. That is why there was overvoting. That was why there was violence. That was why there was everything. Despite all this, they recorded over 800,000 votes. They didn't get that. They know.
These are heavy allegations.
It's not an allegation.
You're talking about and more of a hearsay. And you're saying someone told you, someone told you.
I say
without
somebody who participated and I believe in him. I know him. You don't know him.
It may not be true. It may be false.
We've been in this game for a long time to know what is right and what is wrong.
So people were paid.
And let me tell you what people don't. Today they should know that members of the tribunal arrived at Kano in the afternoon to give judgment the following day. They were picked from Kano by unknown people, put into the plane, and brought to Abuja. And they held a Zoom judgment session from somebody's private house or office. And you know for sure that the Court of Appeal disgraced itself by what they have done, because their judgment was to give Abba judgment. But they did what they did, and it was deliberate. Because such learned men, after giving that judgment, pronouncing that judgment, they didn't release the certified copy of that judgment until after 3 or 4 days. You think they wouldn't have detected those mistakes?
Well, I mean, in all of what you're saying, I mean, these are heavy allegations that you have made in what has happened. But today, we know that Governor Abba Yusuf arrived in Kano to a tumultuous welcome from supporters of the party. These are pictures of Governor Abba Yusuf arriving in Kano to a warm embrace of the red cap wearing supporters of the NNPP. Alhaji Galadima, what does this mean for the NNPP?
Well, you didn't show the critical areas for the world to see. That this is just a scanty picture of where Abba went through. Abba Kabir Yusuf left Kaduna, his rested where he left from Kaduna 8 o'clock. And as we speak now, to 9 o'clock, he has not yet arrived at his house in Kano.
Because of those who have come to welcome him on the road?
Yes.
That's how popular he is on the ground.
It shows.
Is he Abba Yusuf or Kwankwaso?
Well, it is a combination of both. But more so is the trust they have in the leadership of the NNPP. If Kwankwaso says, go and fall into fire and die, I'm telling you, half of Kano people will do that.
That's
because they so much believe in him.
That's a dangerous one to say.
Well, it's the trust. I've just seen you drilling my friend on the issue of trust and morality. They trust him.
So Kwankwaso is one Kwankwaso, one Kano. That is it.
Of course they know.
But what has become of Kwankwaso and NNPP? Because it does look like the center is no longer holding.
Why?
There are some forces in the NNPP who wanted him out.
No. There are some leaders of the APC that were paying some dissident groups in the NNPP to try to portray Kwankwaso in a bad light. And they are using them. But they had a test of their own pill. They went to court. Can you know where? They went to court in Anambra, where the party was born, in Oka, and challenged the authenticity of the leadership of the NNPP. Do you know what the judge ruled? If they ever mention that, they will find themselves in Kiri. Have you heard about them now? They took 300 million from somebody in APC. And those people, they are now even chasing individual NNPP people, gubernatorial candidates and others, promising them heaven and earth to show the president that, look, we are dismantling Kwankwaso's structures.
But Kwankwaso does not own NNPP.
No, he doesn't. He's only...
There is a politician in Anambra State who founded NNPP. Is that right?
Yes.
And there are those who believe that Kwankwaso came into NNPP to take over the party.
You say those who believe.
I mean, that's what the Agbo Major side of the divide believe.
So you believe them?
No, that's what they said. They've been in the party
what did the
before.
What did the court tell them?
Kwankwaso.
If they open their mouth and say they are members of the ANPP, according to the court, they should be sent to prison.
Give me a moment, Alhaji Buba Galadima. Let me go on a short break, and we'll be back to talk more about NNPP, Kano, Rabi Kwankwaso, and in fact, Buba Galadima. Maybe he's going to visit the president also. We'll be hearing from him after this break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone. Alhaji Buba Galadima is still with us right here on the program. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. So what is the fate of your leader, Alhaji Rabi Kwankwaso, in the NNPP?
He's still the leader of the party. And I want the people to understand something. Kwankwaso is being called Madugu.
What does that mean?
Before he joined even PDP. He was also called Jagora. The meaning of Madugu and Jagora is leader. So he's not only a leader in NNPP, but he's a universally accepted person as a leader and manager of human beings who had done well for the people. That is why they love him. Selfless. But, Sheun, I started something which I did not finish in the opening remark. No, I congratulated the judiciary for having salvaged their image. I could have also wanted to extend that I'm congratulating Mr. President for not interfering with the judiciary, because Nigeria could have been on fire by now if what happened on Friday did not happen. So I congratulate him for having the strength of character. And you can see that peace has pervaded the whole of Nigeria, and our rating in the eyes of the world has come up. That would be a credit for Mr. President. And when I said I wanted to see him, I called him once, twice, 3 times, and we spoke.
You mean President Tinubu?
Yes.
Have you been able to see him?
I was able to speak to him. I wasn't able to see him. I had wanted to see him to tell him one thing, that whoever comes to tell you, take over Kano, nothing will happen. I had wanted to tell him that that man is your enemy. That he wanted to destroy you as an individual, destroy your image, and he wants to destroy Nigeria.
But what would you say is a major lesson for the NNPP from this Supreme Court judgment? Because there are fundamental issues which relate to also membership and party administration as ruled by the courts.
No. The tribunal and the Court of Appeal were forced to give those judgments they did. We had no issue. Ordinarily, nobody could have gone to court on Kano, because that was the only state where elections was held in Nigeria fairly. So, I don't think there is any lesson for us to learn. The only lesson is that we should thank God Almighty for having delivered the country, and justice prevailed over falsehood. That's the only lesson.
As a one-state party, a state that holds sway in one state, I mean, you are hoping to be a more national party. How does your party hope to achieve this?
Oh, you're saying this, Sheon? I thought Buhari had only Nasarawa. And he became what? Even somebody without any chairman of local government can become the president of Nigeria if destined by God.
So Kwankwaso is still hoping to become president?
I would want him to be. I don't know what he thinks.
Has he given up on being the president?
He didn't discuss that. Our problem is to sort out this case.
And this has been resolved now?
Then we will sit down and talk.
So what do you
The most important thing for us to do is to deliver on our promises. And we said, here, in programs with you, I have talked about all the good things of life that we would do, shall we be given the opportunity to govern Nigeria. And we have started that in Kano. This is why the people are ready to sacrifice their lives to make sure that this government survives, to continue with the good work, send their children to school, feed their children, give their children uniform, give them health, whatever, pay pensioners, pay gratuity, pay this, do that, build roads, build schools, open schools, do this. And this Abba had been doing effectively. Alone, the work done by Abba in Kano in the last 7 months was not done by all the other 35 governors of Nigeria put together in this period.
Would that be right?
Yes.
What you're saying?
And I challenge, let them bring what they've done, and I tell you what Abba has done.
On the final note, Alhaji
On the final?
Yes, on the final note. Yeah. Except if you want to pay for an hour for because we're crossing we're crossing over to just another in terms of our wheel of programming. I mean, in all of these, Alhaji Galadima, you are being on the ground. There is an opportunity for Alhaji Kwankwaso to emerge with the president. Those who believe that there is going to be some alliance with the president and Kwankwaso. Why didn't that alliance work?
Well, we have been accused of several things. Kwankwaso was called several names. Several names because people did not understand politics. And after the last third meeting, they came in forcefully because they thought that Kwankwaso and President Tinubu were discussing alliance or working together. Therefore, they were afraid of Kwankwaso's stature and capacity and hard work and this. So they came in between them and barricaded
What
the president.
did they?
Those who fear Kwankwaso around the president.
So that's why it didn't work.
Well, it didn't continue. Their discussion didn't continue. Not that it didn't work.
But it was supposed to be made a minister. That was what we
I
heard.
didn't know. He didn't tell me. The president didn't tell me.
All right. Alhaji Bwala Galadima, it's always a pleasure having and seeing you. Thank you so much indeed.
I have to say, you know, you've not seen me for 7 months.
Yes.
I had been sick.
Thank God that you are better now.
And I had 3 major operations, spent over a month in India. And I even promised not to speak to the press until after 1 year of this government. But because I am so happy with what had happened in Nigeria, the peace that has prevailed in this country, common sense, and that the judiciary delivered is safe, the president, if he can gauge his rating now in the country and across the world, he has come up because they saw him as a statesman who refused to be cajoled, to be pushed, to take over what does not belong to him.
Alhaji Galadima, thank you so much for your health, and we wish you that you feel better and be stronger.
Thank you.
Thank you so much indeed. Appreciate it. You don't look like someone who was sick anyways, but thanks to God for that. That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm sure Akim Aloy enjoy the rest of your evening.